Greetings, is an honor to be with you today. And today, as we are in the Rebuke and Esteem series, today we want to talk about the call of Samuel. Lengthy read. I'm reading from the book of 1 Samuel 3 1 to 18, and we're going to analyze the call of Samuel. And it says, and the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. And it came to pass at that time when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see. And ere the lamp of God went out in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was. And Samuel was laid down to sleep. That the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, Here I am. And he ran unto Eli and said, Here am I, for thou callest me. And he said, I called not. Lie down again. And he went and lay down, and the Lord called yet again, Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And he answered, and called, I called not. My son, lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called to the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood and called as at other times, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. And the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, at which both the ears of everyone that heareth it shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house when I begin. I would also make an end, for I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice, nor offering forever. And Samuel lay until the morning, and opened the doors of the house of the Lord. And Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here am I. And he said, What is the thing that the Lord hath said unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me. God do so to thee, and more also, if thou hide anything from me of all the things that he said unto thee. And Samuel told him every whit, and hid nothing from him. And he said, It is the Lord, let him do what seemeth good. The amazing thing about this story, I've always admired the call of Samuel, because so many things is being revealed in this story. We see a young Samuel being called as prophet and judge of Israel, and he's in a very delicate situation. There's a couple of things that stand out to me. The light or the lamp in the temple was out, which is against Jewish custom. That light was supposed to be perpetually burning. So the fact that light was out, the scripture says also that there was no open vision, which means that there was nobody hearing from God at this point. So it means that Eli was in what some may consider backslidden state, so much so that his children were being vile, as God spoke to Samuel and said, and they were moving contrary to what they should have been, which meant that they were not following in, I wouldn't say in Eli's footsteps, but they were not walking according to the will of God. And as a result of this, as a result of what was happening with Eli and his seed, God was about to judge them. And God called this young boy. It kind of reminds you of what he did with David. He calls this young boy and he gives him this word. Now I want you to see something. Eli knew God enough that he realized that not only was God calling this young boy, but that he had to help him to understand the importance of doing what God had instructed you to do. Now, I looked at that and I said, you know what? Because Eli told him, if you don't tell me, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, God do so to you, even worse than me, because I believe Eli wanted to establish a pattern with Samuel that would be perpetual throughout his life. That when God gave you a word and a mandate, it was important that you saw it through to the end. True esteem is when we not only honor those with our mouths that we do honor, but we honor them with our life. This was a hard lesson for young Samuel to learn, but he was old enough to learn it. And he told Eli everything that God said. And Eli said, he's God. Let him do, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, let him do as pleases him. But that was the beginning of Samuel's rise. And it came within a point that we can consider silent.